story is called The Boy Who Switched Off the Sun, and it's written by Paul Brown and illustrated by Mark O'Hanlon. So the title's called The Boy Who Switched Off the Sun. So we're ready. Little Markle just didn't like ice cream. He absolutely loved the stuff. In fact, he loved it that much. He had secret stockpiles hidden everywhere in the house. In his toy box, top of the cupboard, in the washing machine, and in the dog's house. He liked nothing more than enjoying a big delicious scoop while he sat on his favourite bench by the beach. But there was a problem, a very big problem: the sun. Its hot sweltering rays always turned his delicious frozen treat into a drippy meshy mesh, long before he could finish it. But look, who's enjoying it though? The dog. Markle tried everything. He tried to eat it really fast, but he kept getting all sticky splodges everywhere. He tried eating it in the frozen cold, but he kept getting brain freeze. He tried eating it in the dark, but it was far too scary. Then out of nowhere, he had an amazing idea. The sun was like an enormous dangling light bulb dangling in the sky. "That's it," he shouted, "that's it. I'm going to switch off the sun." Woo. But the sun was millions and millions of miles away. Markle would need to build a super fast solar power space rocket if he was ever going to travel that far. After weeks of the building, banging, drilling, clanging, he proudly added touches to the spacecraft. Wow, look at that. That night, Markle was so excited he could hardly sleep. The next morning, he leaped out of bed. He ran down to prepare for the launch. It was perfect rocket flying conditions. "All systems are ready for liftoff," announced Markle on the onboard computer. "Begin countdown sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!" The powerful rocket blasted higher and higher up through the clouds into space. Up amongst the stars, he could see the Earth disappearing in the distance. Markle thought it looked amazing. It just reminded of a big, fluffy scoop of bubblegum ice cream. By the time they had finally reached the sun, planet Earth seemed a little tiny spot in space. Markle could see the giant off switch button and quickly set to work. Floating closer and closer, he could feel the powerful heat washing over him. He wished he had some yummy ice cream to try to cool him down. Then he pushed and he pushed and he pushed with all his efforts, until one huge effort and a little help from his dog, Gullick! Markle had turned off the sun. But as he set off home, the sunlight faded fast. The solar power rocket began to spiral out of control. Luckily, Markle managed to crash land safely in his garden. That night, very tired from his long journey, Markle had lovely dreams about enjoying his favourite treat from the beach without melting away. So he's like all happy. But when Markle awoke up the next morning, it was not well. It was very dark, scary, and far too cold to eat ice cream. And worse than that, terrible things started to happen all around the world. Flowers and forests dying, planet animals hiding, oceans in big freeze. Markle realised he made the biggest mistake. He must switch the sun back on without delay. But without any sun energy and solar power rocket, just wouldn't work. He needed to think of a solution, and he needed to think fast. And there was one thing that always helped Markle to make things more clearly. Strawberry cheesecake ice cream. As he tucked into his super-sized scoop, a wonderful idea came to mind. He will build a big giant catapult to fire the enormous ball of ice cream straight on the on switch. Markle worked late at that night building a scoop on the size of the house. It was utterly enormous. It used to use up the whole entire stockpile of ice cream. So he knew he would only have one shot of the sun. Wow, look at the size of that. Finally, everything was ready. Crowds came from near and far, all desperately hoping that Markle could be able to switch the sun back on. "Commence countdown," he yelled. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire! Everybody switched and Everybody watched and everybody clapped and everybody cheered as they saw the giant ball of delicious hurtle towards the sun. "Oh no," shouted Markle. The ice cream was starting to melt. It zoomed towards the sun, dying heat, and as it got closer, more and more melted away. It reminded him of a frozen scoop of Tutti Frutti. Everyone held their breaths. Solid ice chuck landed to direct hit the sun on the on switch, but nothing seemed to happen. And had Markle's plan failed? Angry and disappointed, the crowd started to walk away. Then suddenly, the sky filled with the brightest light everywhere I'd ever seen. Hooray! Everyone cheered and danced, and they started dancing in the streets. The next day, all around the world, everything began to return to normal. World oceans defrost, animals come out of hiding, flowers, forests come alive. And although it was a drippy, melting mess, Markle was very happy to be sitting on his favourite bench, enjoying his ice cream. And so was his dog. Thank you for listening. Keep safe.